Welcome back to SpoatsTalks, everyone. This is Jace.
And I'm Hunter.
I'm Bar.
And we have a special guest today.
Hello, my name is Maxwell. I do YouTube. It's pretty fun.
Oh,
Definitely check them out.
yeah. Maxwell, what sports do you keep up with?
I mean, honestly, I keep up with a lot of football, a lot of American football. Whatchamacallit? A lot of basketball as well. I mean, really anything besides baseball, golf, and hockey. I just haven't really gotten to hockey, but it'd be cool to get into hockey at one point.
I'm pretty much the same. All right, and this is our first episode not talking about the NFL, because we talk about other sports.
We'll wait to talk about the NFL when the off season heats up with free agency and all that jazz.
Yeah, So in this episode, we're exclusively talking about soccer and mainly the Champions League, since the round of 16 and the knockout stages began today.
And full disclaimer, neither me nor Jace knows about jack shit of soccer.
That's
I know
true.
the teams, and that's about it.
And that's why we have this guest star.
Yep.
Hey.
So it's not just Hunter talking.
So it's not just me.
So it's not just him and then us going, oh, okay. The
Yeah.
whole time.
You guys just agreeing with everything I said because you don't know anything.
Yeah, you can just
Yep.
make up total bullshit.
Yeah.
And Jace would be like, yeah, that makes sense. And then I'd have like a sliver of an idea being like, wait a minute, that's a little sketchy. But okay.
He'll be like, that's not a team.
I'd be like, I know that's not real. You can't.
I'm such a big fan of Cristiano Messi.
Gotta love him.
Man, I love Lionel Ronaldo. He's my favorite player.
Ooh. Oof.
He
I love
plays
his- I love his
quarterback
statue of his face.
on Leipzig, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, Leipzig. Surprised you know that team, Jace.
I'm looking at the scoreboard, and that's who plays tomorrow.
Oh my god.
But anyway, let's talk about the first game. So it was Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. And thank God
Thank you,
Liverpool
Jesus.
fucking lost.
Yeah, they lost by a hole in one to Atletico Madrid.
There it is.
Yeah, we should just do this the whole time.
It was a great touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch that game as much because I was so focused on the PSG Dortmund game.
Yeah.
But I had it on the side just so my eyes could at least see the game. And I guess every time I watched the game, or at least glimpsed at the screen, it just seemed like Atletico were just fouling Liverpool, and somehow all the fouls were on Liverpool. But I mean, Liverpool lost, so that's all that matters for me.
And Liverpool had the chunk of possession, 73%, which
Yeah, they also had 8 shots, 0 on target. First time in a long time that they've had that with Jurgen Klopp.
is this their
This is
first
pretty
loss of the
shitty.
season?
No, they've lost to Napoli, and they've also lost to Aston Villa.
Okay, yeah. That's right. We need them losing the Prem. That's the main thing now.
Yeah, I mean, if Atletico can expose them, I'm sure some team in the Premier League can do it.
Yeah. But, there's still a whole other leg, so Liverpool could definitely come back from just a 1-0 deficit. So
I don't think Liverpool is going to lose the next leg. I really don't. I
Yeah.
hope that Atletico can maintain something, because they can really frustrate opponents, and it's really fun to watch, but I don't see it happening at Anfield. I just don't.
yeah.
That's true. And if Liverpool wins, just based on their names alone, I'd rather have Madrid because that's a sexier name than Liverpool.
Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you. We gotta go with real facts here.
I'll go with that one, yeah.
Yeah. But, Liverpool they're something else this season. So
Oh,
Unfortunately,
they really are. I bet.
I bet. Man,
Yeah, unfortunately, they're really good this season, and I hate it. Fuck Liverpool.
I've only tied one game in the Prem. Crazy.
Yeah,
But-
I haven't lost yet.
Yeah. And then we had Dortmund versus PSG in the second game from today. And oh my God. Haaland, bro. He's so fucking good.
He's incredible. Honestly, I remember watching that first half of the game, and he had a missed header, and it was kind of just I think it was behind him because of that. But I was just thinking, I don't think Haaland's going to score. I'm not sure if he's going to score. I'm not sure he's going to make a contribution. Second half comes around, he scores 2 goals, and the second one's an absolute blinder. And oh my god,
god! First one was a little bit lucky,
Mhm.
but the second one was so fucking nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy match. It went from 1-0, and then a couple minutes later, PSG equalized through some really bad defending by Dortmund. And then literally right off kickoff, it seemed like Haaland just scores another one.
Neymar scored, I remember, but it wasn't like, I think it was kind of just like a cross in the box and he was wide open. Nothing too special, but definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of terrible defending because I remember Zagadou slipped, and then that just left so much space open, and yeah.
I would say it was quite an even game, and I'm looking forward to definitely the second leg of it.
I think the second leg is going to be even better, to be honest.
Yeah.
This one seemed like both teams were still kind of holding back just because it was the first leg and it didn't seem like anyone was that interested in scoring in that first half. And then obviously things opened up. I think it really opened up just because of the amount of mistakes that PSG and Dortmund both had throughout that midfield. One thing that they're going to miss in the second leg, though, is Marco Verratti, who's going to be suspended. And I genuinely thought he was probably one of the best players on the pitch today.
I feel like Mbappe he didn't do much. He was kind of disappointing.
He really wasn't bopping it, was he?
He lacked someone just being able to create space for him, I think.
True.
And I think really if they had Icardi playing, the whole game would have changed. But yeah, I mean, they had Di Maria playing, and Di Maria just did not perform very well, and as a result, it all just kind of fell apart. They still made some pretty good chances, but I think had someone like Icardi been on the pitch beforehand, then yeah, it would have been a
Icardi's
different
been
story.
really good for PSG this season,
Mm-hmm.
so probably could have helped out there.
Icardi or Bacardi?
Icardi.
Icardi. Oh, none of the above.
Are they sponsored by Bacardi rum?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But
I read your mind there.
Just Jadon Sancho and Haaland are I feel like they're just pairing up really well together, and it's just going to be very hard to stop. And I see Dortmund going to the next round.
I see it too, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw PSG as a favorite at one point, and then after this match, and then after the fact that they don't have Verratti anymore, and Thomas Meunier, I think it's going to be Dortmund that wins it. Even though it is at home and PSG only need 1 goal, there is absolutely no way PSG is going to keep a clean sheet. It's just not going to happen.
I feel like their defense isn't as good as it once was.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like just Dortmund's front three is just going to be able to break him down again.
Yeah.
And we know defense wins championships.
That's right.
It does.
Denver.
No, we don't.
Fuck the Broncos. And then tomorrow at 3 p.m. we have Atalanta versus Valencia, which is an interesting matchup. I think it's just like
I think Atlanta definitely
yeah,
has a good chance.
I don't know, man.
Just because
they choke a lot, Georgia sports.
That's true. That's true. I think Atlantis has a very good chance of beating
Atlanta. Goddamn, Atalanta.
Atlanta United will beat Valencia tomorrow, without a doubt.
Why does Valencia sound like a fucking Italian car manufacturer?
I mean, it's Spanish, but
yeah, it is Spanish.
Oh, well.
Wait, which one's Spanish?
But either way, which I could, I haven't seen like any games from Atalanta this season, or Valencia for that matter. But I don't even remember the last time I saw an Atalanta game. But whatever team wins and like advances into the next round, they're going to be an underdog for sure.
I think it's going to be the end of the road after that. I think it's going to be Atalanta that wins the whole thing.
Yeah,
because they started out with I think 0 or 1 points after like 3 matches in the Champions League, and then they managed to jump up into second place. And I remember watching the match versus Man City, where it was a draw, and also Kyle Walker was in goal, so there was that too. But I remember watching that match, and Atalanta were pretty solid. It seemed like they just kind of grown into the match, and I think that's just what's going to happen against Valencia. And if you can do that against Manchester City, I feel like they're going to really learn that a lot quicker with Valencia. And even then, Atalanta have destroyed every single team so far in the Serie A recently. They beat Torino like 7-0. So coming off a bunch of good matches, that's going to be a lot of good momentum that they can bring into that match. And I think Atalanta is going to win.
It'll be interesting to see, but
Mhm.
probably will be the end of the road after this matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get drawn with someone like, I don't know, let's say Leipzig or Tottenham, I think there might be a better chance,
True.
but that's very unlikely. But I mean, it can happen though.
Yeah, anything's possible.
There
That's
it
right,
is.
Jace.
And
You
who
just
knows,
gotta
Atlantis
believe
might
in
be able to
yourself.
win the Champions League this year just based on their logo.
Who's gonna
You
win
like
it?
that logo?
Have you seen the logo?
It's
Are
like
you looking at it right now?
Are you looking at it?
it's like with a head, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I missed that last
It is
part.
blue.
Which logo are y'all talking about?
The
Atalanta.
Atlantic United.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Atlanta FC.
It looks like if you took Royal Princess Cruises, mixed it with Starbucks, and then changed their colors to blue and black.
I mean, that is actually, I'm pretty sure like a Greek mythology character or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The Queen of Atlantis.
Yes.
Just I don't know, but I think after this podcast goes out, ESPN are gonna hire you just to commentate over soccer games because you obviously
yeah,
know
you
what
have
you're
no
talking
doubt.
about.
No, have you seen that thing where what's his name? The giant Chiefs Rob something, Rob Riggle. Did you see the thing where he like pretended to like go over and like as an American to learn about soccer and he completely fucked everything up?
Oh
That is
yeah,
Jace. That is
he went
Jace.
to
He
Tottenham.
was he acted as a football coach that went
Oh,
over
I've
to
seen
actual
that so many
football.
times.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Such a good video.
That is Jace there.
Speaking of
All right.
Tottenham, they play tomorrow at 3 p.m. against Red Bull Leipzig.
Leipzig is going to be very energized for this match, I feel.
Yeah, they're gonna have wings.
I wonder where you got that pun from.
Jace, they're gonna have wings.
All their wingers are gonna be so good.
And
Yeah.
the Tottenham Roosters, just based on how they're in the Premier League
Mm-hmm.
and running back Leipzig are in a real league, like Bundesliga.
Yeah, I'm predicting Leipzig's gonna get a lot of yards this game.
They really are.
They're gonna cover the field pretty effectively.
Jesus.
They're going for at least 4 carry.
Dear God, I'm just
How
gonna
many
jump
rushing
off my
touchdowns are
balcony.
they gonna get?
Oh, 8.
Expect
Oh my
expect a physical game. They're gonna be running over people.
Right. So, anyways, I think this one's going to be pretty iffy because you have injuries on both sides of the teams. You have Tottenham, who just lost Heung-min Son through an elbow injury. It's going to be a big loss because they also don't have Harry Kane. So really, all they have now, I'm pretty sure, is Bergwijn and probably Lucas. I'm not sure if he's injured or not. I don't think he is. And then on Leipzig's side, I really thought Leipzig was going to win until I learned maybe like 2 days ago that I'm pretty sure they don't have a proper center back to play. Upamecano is injured, and 2 of their other center backs are injured. And then along with that, Tyler Adams is out with an injury. So it's
That doesn't sound good.
yeah. So I honestly, at this point, I think it might be a 0-0 draw unless something happens in that Spurs attack. Something just magical happens. Then, actually, now I think of it, there's still Timo Werner. So
Yeah.
I would say maybe 1-1 then.
And if Leipzig can get a good counterattack going based on Maxwell's channel, Tottenham isn't very good at defending those.
Is that a good point?
He's got a good point. I mean, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I'm definitely interested to see how Jose Mourinho he's going to do at Tottenham in the Champions League. Because he did win it with Porto, so
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
yeah. But I'm interested. I still like Jose even after he left. United, so I hope he does well. So. It's going to be a low-scoring game, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Next game is Chelsea versus Bayern Munich.
I'm genuinely
Bayern all the way, baby.
I'm honestly convinced they'll win 4-0.
Yeah.
Even if it is away from home, Bayern are going to, I think they're going to make a statement and they're going to destroy Chelsea.
Bayern is very good this season.
Mm-hmm.
Serge Gnabry, however the fuck you pronounce his last name.
It's Gnabry.
Okay. He's probably my favorite player on Bayern Munich, and he's been doing really well in the Champions League.
He has been.
And then you have Robert Lewandowski as well.
Exactly.
Alphonso Davies on the left side. I just don't really see Chelsea making anything of this.
And especially with Frank Lampard, who is an unexperienced manager, especially in the Champions League. I'm interested to see how that'll go for him, but I definitely see Bayern Munich winning not only this game away at Stamford Bridge, but also just winning the whole both legs and advancing into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean they're favorites to win the whole entire thing. So I'm sure that they're just. I don't think Chelsea are going to score in either aggregate. I don't know why. I just don't see it happening. So yeah, Bayern wins this one. Bayern wins the second leg, and Bayern just wins the whole thing, in my opinion.
I could see that definitely happening. And after Chelsea's 2-0 loss to Manchester United, I got to bring that up.
Yeah, to be fair, you did get some help from those refs.
Keep the win.
True. But if they can't beat Man United, are they going to be able to beat Bayern Munich?
No.
No.
They have been really inconsistent, so I mean, there's still the chance that it happens. But Chelsea on a good day is not something that happens in the last. It hasn't happened like in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Consistency wins championships.
There it is. And then our next game is Napoli versus FC Barcelona.
Let's go Napoli.
So
I am a little split on this one just because both teams have been experiencing a lot of internal drama within. I mean, I've heard some rebellions from Napoli, and then, I mean, Messi's just calling out Barcelona for whatever is happening there. So really, I think maybe Napoli sneak in a win the first leg, but I think Barcelona come back the second leg and advance.
Napoli have been pretty disappointing in the Serie A this season. They're ninth right now.
They're 10th, or they're 9th now?
Yeah, they're 9th.
Yeah. So the thing with that, though, is I feel like now that they know that there's absolutely no hope in the Serie A, they might focus more on the Champions League as a result. I mean, a lot of teams do this. They just have a bigger mentality for either or. So maybe Napoli are a lot stronger than we do think they are. And for that reason, I think they might just escape with a 1-0 or 2-0 win against Barcelona at home.
I personally think Barcelona's going to win both games.
I mean,
I just feel like Napoli just not having their season, maybe next season. And I feel like, you're talking about how they might focus on the champion, which could be a possibility, but I feel like they're also going to try and focus on the league just to maybe crawl into a Europa League spot.
I mean, they're not far off that either.
Yeah, it's not. It's like they're like 2-3 points off.
Yeah, the points difference between the Europa League to like 10th isn't that terrible.
Yeah, so I feel like they might try and like focus on that, and just because I feel like it's very unlikely that they go and win the whole Champions League,
hmm
and I feel like they'd rather go and have some European competition next season rather than none.
Yeah.
So,
The thing with Napoli is just they've been very inconsistent in the Serie A in terms of they've beaten Juventus before, but they lose to Lecce the very next week. So it's
If you lose to
Napoli's
Milk, then do you really
difficult.
deserve to be there?
Yeah, Napoli's just they're very questionable to me, and that's why I just feel like maybe it can happen, but also maybe they'll screw up and completely lose to Barcelona like 3-0 at home. I mean, anything's possible.
yeah. All right, and then next Wednesday we have Juventus versus Lyon, and I think it's got to be Juve to win this game.
It's definitely going to be Juve. Memphis Depay is out for Lyon, so he scored, I believe, 5 of their 9 goals in the Champions League. So with your top scorer out and with you only scoring 9 goals, it's probably not going to end well. At the same time, Lyon have also not done that great in Liga. They did manage to get a cup win against Marseille in the French Cup, which is a pretty big deal in France. So there's also that to consider. I don't think it's going to be like a 7-1 on aggregate, though, like a lot of people are saying. I think, honestly, Juve might just win 2-0 for this one.
Yeah,
Because Juve are also kind of struggling a bit,
in their
too.
logo, so it's already a loss for them anyway. Got to pull out the Jace card for this one. Sorry.
yeah, they have an L in their logo.
It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I think the
But-
Lions can't beat the Juventus Jays, honestly.
The
Yeah, I'm
Juventus.
gonna go with
Jays.
it in this one. Even
I
though
mean,
the Lions are Olympics.
Also, Ronaldo has just been, he's scored in how many games has he scored now, like in a row?
9, 10, something like that, I think.
Yeah, 9,
Wait,
10.
what club does he play for now?
Juve.
Juventus.
Juventus.
Oh, fuck.
Um,
Okay.
a couple have been penalties, but he's definitely in form right now.
hmm
So I feel like that will definitely help them, and he can bag like maybe a brace in this first leg,
Yeah.
which is even away at in France. So
hmm Yeah, I think Juve's got this one in the bag.
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
All right, and then our last matchup is Real Madrid versus Manchester City.
Oh,
This one's kind
is
of hard to
Interesting.
choose, honestly.
Yeah, it could
Because
go either
Honestly.
way.
Because you have a
I
lot of
would-
things kind of changing the whole just results in terms of internal things or even just how they're doing on the pitch. Real Madrid have actually the best defensive record in like the top 5 leagues. So that's one thing to consider. I would definitely not count them out against Manchester City. I know Manchester City are big favorites, especially since now they might be even more driven to win the Champions League. Not that they're going to be banned for 2 years unless that gets appealed. So there's also that. But at the same time, Manchester City have not been
They haven't
at
been
that
as
same
the best.
strength. Yeah,
Yeah.
they apparently I read an article, and apparently one of their main sources of goals from last year when they won the league have dried up, which is a massive reason why they're just kind of struggling. And on top of that, they do squander a lot of chances. And I mean, Spurs versus Man City was a perfect example of that, where they had 14 shots before Tottenham had 1, and Tottenham won 2-0. So it's a really interesting matchup. And as a result, Real Madrid are at home, so I feel like there might be either a 1-1 draw or even a 1-0 win for Real Madrid.
I agree. I would I would pick Man City just to piss off Hunter,
And
but
me.
I'm going to pick Real Madrid just because I want them to match up against Athletic Madrid to use Real Madrid.
Who's the actual Madrid?
Who's the
Who's
actual Madrid?
Who's the king
You
of
wanna have-
Madrid?
You want to have a Madrid derby?
Oh, yeah. Instead of them playing soccer, they could just make like those Pinewood Derby cars.
What?
Yes, from Boy Scouts.
see
Oh my
who wins
God.
that.
Let's go. We just race them down with the logos, and they find out which the Real Madrid is that way.
My God.
They carve them into the shape of the logo, see which one's more aerodynamic.
Yes, even better. Well, I feel like Real Madrid's more of like a frisbee
Oh my-
kind of way because Atletico's like a shield. So
What the fuck is
they
going
just
on?
fly it.
I have no idea. This is the quality
Oh my God.
content our viewers get. Pinewood Derby.
Dude, you got 6 subscribers, solid 26 views on your first video,
Oh,
so I'm sure.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Making
yeah.
big
We also
bucks
get
from
viewers on
Blowing up,
Spotify.
bro.
It's fair. It's fair.
We're
But
making big bucks, Maxwell. You don't understand. We out here.
oh hell yeah.
Well, 25 of those views on our first hit are just me pressing refresh.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Wait, I thought that didn't work
I'm
anymore.
just kidding.
Maxwell, what channel can reach 1,000 subscribers first? Ours or yours?
Probably yours, honestly. I mean, like I'm at almost 700, but I don't know, man.
Comeback City, here we come.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I
They
think
do
the
call
growth
Hunter the
rate is
comeback
pretty
king
up
for a
there.
reason.
It's true.
Well, your
But,
counter-attacks are a thing of beauty.
Back to the Champions League. I feel like both of these teams have surprised me this season. After Ronaldo left Madrid, a lot of people were saying that they weren't going to be as good, which they probably haven't. But they've only lost one game in the league, which is surprising. And considering last year, I feel like they weren't nearly as good last season. They're like last season just wasn't their year.
They weren't
Oh,
real
yeah,
at
for
all.
sure.
Yeah, and then City have had 6 losses, and they just don't look very good. Like, was it last season when they hit over 100 points?
Wait, what?
Was
You
it?
gotta cut out.
Oh, was it last season when City hit 100 points in the league?
I think it was the year before.
Year before?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
Damn, Chase was on top of that.
He
Down.
knows his stuff.
he just clicked the season button at 2016. But they're definitely not looking as strong. And while they do definitely have something to prove, I see Madrid winning this game and advancing to the next round now.
Damn, okay, I don't know about advancing to the next round for Madrid. I think City get the best of them in the second leg.
Okay,
But, I mean, who knows? The Champions League is always pretty unpredictable.
it's true. All right, and speaking of City,
Yes.
banned
Beautiful.
from Champions League for the next 2 seasons. unless
Beautiful.
appealed.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. What's all that about?
Financial fair play.
Wait, fair play?
Yeah, so basically they're like,
So
they're just
basically what happened was they had a sponsor. They valued their sponsor a lot less than it actually is. And it's kind of not okay for your club to be pumped in with money, especially if it's like $1 billion in 1 year or more.
that seems pretty shitty.
they're getting all that oil money.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Oh, yeah.
they are.
Yeah,
they are
it's
owned by
more
oil
of
tycoons.
it's not really more it's not really their sponsor that's giving them this money.
Yeah.
It's more of the whole entirety of Abu Dhabi. So UEFA aren't very happy about that.
I can tell.
And the one
I
thing
wouldn't be
about
happy either. I'd be pretty salty.
the one thing about their appeal is that it isn't managed with UEFA anymore. It goes to like the main like sports division. I forgot their name. So
The sports division united.
yeah, that I guess. If I did a little more research, I probably would have gotten it. But
Let me look that one up. Sports Division United.
I mean, they've been responsible for banning Russia from the Olympics for the anti-doping scandal. So they're definitely not going to be very lenient in terms of managing the Manchester City deal. So I think the ban honestly stays. I hope it stays.
I hope it
Same.
stays. as well,
I
as a
really
United
don't
fan.
want Man City to play in the Champions League.
And there's also rumors that the Premier League they could get relegated to the FL2.
That
which
would
would just
be
be hilarious.
insane.
That
That'd be
insane.
hilarious.
I don't think it'll happen,
I
but
don't
the
either.
fact that
That's a rumor.
idea
It's
is
just so
out
funny.
there, yeah, it's crazy.
The very idea just makes me very excited to my core.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I heard that Pep would stay with Manchester City even if that
Oh
happened,
yeah.
which is quite crazy to be honest, because I thought he would just move back to Barcelona. It seemed like, but I mean, respect to him if he actually does stay. I heard Raheem also stays if they don't have Champions League. I haven't heard anything about like them relegating though. But I don't know how strong these promises are because these are players in their
Yeah.
prime, and if they get relegated or they just don't have the opportunity to have Champions League football, then I just see them leaving, honestly.
I mean,
I would leave.
as
Same.
a United supporter,
Uh,
Paul Pogba has like, oh my god, this season he's just like his manager and like his family have just said because we're not in the Champions League. So like if they get relegated to FL2, like those players aren't going to want to stay without Champions League football for 3-4 seasons until for them to get back into the and then qualify.
Yeah.
Or however long it will take. So, and they'll definitely have to sell some of the players.
Well, they could just sell them to their in-house rivals. They could just stay here in Manchester and just go on to United. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that would happen, and I don't want all their players.
No one wants to move to United. That's a fact right now.
Bruno Fernandes did, so.
Okay, you got Bruno Fernandes.
And Igalo.
Right?
Igalo,
got fucking Odion Igalo, all right? Man who scored one Premier League goal in the entire season after having like a breakout season the last season before then.
All I know is he said he was getting offers from a lot of Prem teams, and he chose United.
Yeah, baby. That's because
I feel like no one actually wanted him, but
I mean, probably not. He's from China, so
I think the only other club that would have wanted him was Chelsea.
But
yeah, because they were having an issue with Giroud because I think Giroud wanted more playtime.
Wait,
so there was a rumor that he was moving to Spurs, but that broke down.
Yeah. Oh my god, if Giroud went from Arsenal to Chelsea Spurs,
I might have just killed myself.
Wait, so that guy's from China?
Or well, he played in the Chinese league.
Oh, so how much longer does the team have left before they need to get new players?
Yeah, because coronavirus.
Yeah.
There was actually a scare about that. It was in the news that like he wasn't gonna play for a while because because of the coronavirus. But he actually he was subbed in for his debut against Chelsea. So
I did hear they're lowering wages for the Chinese Super League, so everyone like banking off the Chinese league is gonna be hurt by that. So they might move back, which is kind of cool.
That'd be nice.
So I guess the whole project of China trying to become a world footballing dominating nation didn't work at all.
Is Oscar from Chelsea? Is he still playing in China?
I believe, yeah, he is playing in China right now.
Because I remember he was one of the big names back when he first moved. I was like, why would he go? Like he was like getting into his prime and everything.
Yeah, I think Paulinho's also in the Chinese Super League.
Who?
Paulinho. He used to play for Barcelona.
Yeah. And Spurs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard of Paulinho.
That's a first.
Paul.
That'd be
there's Hulk as well. Forgot about him.
Oh yeah. How old is he now? I feel like he's late 30s.
He looks old. He's 33.
Yeah, I feel like he's getting up there in age. So
yeah,
he'll retire in a few seasons. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else we can talk about? Big boy bar, how are we looking at time?
We're at
like
34 minutes.
40. No, fair enough.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. All right. And so everyone, thank you for stopping by at SpoatsTalks, and make sure you check out Maxwell's channel. We'll have it in the description.
Hell yeah.
Okay. And one last thing, I want to thank our sponsor, Airbud World Pup, which will not be going to Man City next year.
No, they will not. And on that note, goodbye, everybody.